Welcome to the Barry Charles Footy Show. On this episode, we're going to talk about the Lachlan Galvin situation, where it's at, the NRL high shots, what's doing there, 18 sin bins this weekend, and of course, Super League. Should NRL bite? Let's get to it right here, right now on your favourite rugby league channel, Barry Charles Footy Show. Welcome, guys and gals, back to the channel. Yes, Lachlan Galvin, what is doing in this contract right now? What is the situation? What is doing? All roads lead to Parramatta. Yes, as I said on this channel just over a week ago, that they are looking for effective immediate release. This is the idea from the Isaac Moses camp. It's just whether or not Tigers will come to the party as well as the Knights. So this is what the situation is right now. Parramatta have an offer. Don't get it twisted. Obviously, everything's unofficial at the moment, but it's clearly an offer. They are ready to take it to... they want the immediate release. But the caveat, obviously, as everyone knows, is that can the Knights afford Dylan Brown now? At the moment, no. Who can they release? Simple right here, right now. It's either Kai Pearce-Paul, Leo Thompson, if they say Bulldogs, do you want to take him early? But that doesn't help the Tigers. This is the problem with that. I think Kai Pearce-Paul, if he went to the Tigers, that would help them there. Bram Best is who the Tigers want. That ain't happening, but that is the word around town. If you want this to happen now, Bram Best would be the option, which would be brilliant for the Tigers, but it ain't going to happen. So that's why it's going to be hard for him to go very, very shortly, even though the Parramatta want to. But what do I see here for the Tigers? What do the Tigers have for benefit of this? Because Lachlan Galvin's only on about 250k this season, around 350 next season. Very low for his talent, obviously, no doubt about that. I understand that. So I'd expect, if it's not going to happen right here, right now, which is still potential to happen, but it's all on the Tigers here. If the Tigers decide to go no, then you're looking at 2026 Parramatta. Now, does that mean someone else can't just come over the top and table offer? I don't think he's going to get a higher offer. So if he's going to go on his actual word, he's going to have to take less if he wants to go to the Rabbitohs, Bulldogs, Panthers, Roosters, Melbourne Storm. You can name the list of all the teams that would love to have him, but they would take him at a lower rate. Parramatta are willing to go over the $1 million mark. That's why Parramatta are raging hot favourites, just like the Knights with Dylan Brown, raging hot favourites because they want to give them more money. So this is the stumbling point for the other clubs right here, right now. So it looks like Lachlan Galvin's going to go back on his word, but whether it happens right here, right now, that is the clucks. Basically, Parramatta wanted right here, right now, but they're relying on the Knights and the Tigers. The Knights, I think, are definitely interested because they are failing in attack, but their problem is trying to get rid of someone. Obviously, another player I was supposed to mention earlier, Jackson Hastings, but nobody wants him. I don't know. I'm surprised the Super League don't want him, to be honest, because he was good at the Super League. I'm not sure what's happening there. Maybe the quota system over there is why Jackson Hastings not getting a go. Not 100% sure on that one. That's the question mark over that. So that's what's happening right here, right now. Parramatta want him, but will the Tigers give a release? That is pretty much it. Tigers at this stage, why would they? They got him on a steal deal. I think next year, definitely, 2026, he'll be gone. But while the Tigers are winning, and if they win a magic round and they continue to be winning, then absolutely everything's happy days. But the big lingering point for the Tigers, though, on the other hand, is why this could happen very shortly, is their legal battle. If the legal battle actually has some room, like actual proper, like there's a chance this is going to ruin the Tigers financially, millions of dollars, so they let them go, then maybe you will see what I was predicting earlier, the effect immediately. Basically, it's there. It's there if the Tigers want to go that way, but at this stage, it doesn't look likely. And the way they performed on Easter Monday, on Easter Monday, the week after, there's no chance that he is likely to go in the next few weeks. That's ideally what Eels want, but I don't see that potentially happening right here, right now. After, even though they want to, the only way this is going to happen right here, right now, is the legal case. If the legal case is there, Tigers will bite the bullet and say, "See you later." And that's still there. That option is still there. A mid-season change, yes. If the Tigers are struggling, then he'll go. But 2026, he is definitely not going to be at the Tigers. I can tell you that right here, right now. That's definitely not going to happen. More and most likely Parramatta. But the effective immediately will come down to the legal suit. If the legal suit has merit, then there could be a push to finish it early. But yes, the Parramatta have an unofficial offer ready to rock and roll. Let's put it out there. But yes, the Tigers, to me, if I was the Tigers, I would not be releasing him. I think he's too good a player for this season. I think next season, yes, I think it could derail a whole season, but I think with a season like this, I think he would be fine. And potentially Tigers are potentially playing finals footy this year the way they're going. With the trajectory they're playing at the moment, you would say that's more than likely. They really have gone up to another level, especially with the likes of Panthers struggling. They've really have opened up a space there. Unless Panthers really start turning around, and then the Tigers might be in a little bit of problems. But with Panthers struggling and the Roosters struggling, there is opening a door for some teams for this top 8 competition. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one going forward. Let's get to the what's been happening in the high tackles here, folks. The hip drop, not the hip drop, the high tackles. What is happening? What's actually happening, folks, out there in rugby league land? 18 sin bins for the weekend. It's absolute ludicrous, absolute rubbish. How do they get rid of it? Well, I talked about it here on the video last time. Simple. If it goes, say, under chest height, so the guy's running and then he falls and it's under chest height, even if it gets clipped in the head, it's just a penalty, and the judiciary can do something from there. If the guy is out for weeks, then he can get a couple of weeks there. But if it's anything up in the head here region, if it's like a little slap on the face or a little tiny touch, it's just a penalty. But anything else, so if it's like accidental and it's full shoulder, I can live with 10 minutes in the bin there. When it comes to that stuff, when it's up high here, that's, for me, it's just that accidental rubbish. That's the ones I don't like. Or the little slaps and they get 10 in the bin, they got to cut that rubbish out. It's not a penalty. But those are the ones that are the rigmarole of this. So anything, if they start to fall, collapse, you get hit. Like you can argue that Joseph Suaalii was a similar case of that the guy was falling. Yes, the shoulder charge is the thing here, the intent of the shoulder charge, and collected them in the head. So I could argue that could have been 10 minutes in the bin, not a send-off. But still, the Deliveraki would have been worth a few weeks on the sidelines. There's no doubt about that. But for these little ones, these little slap tickles, when they're having they should not be. Penalty is sufficient. That's it. No need for sin bins. And if they fall to the ground, like Latrell Mitchell, there's a couple of times he's getting these penalties and the guy's falling right to the ground. Like, to me, it's just ridiculous that is, I mean, a penalty, yes, but 10 minutes in the bin, sometimes just rubbish. Just because it's Latrell Mitchell, I think sometimes he gets sent off for no reason. It's just, but that's blatant. That's pretty much what it is. If it's absolute careless high tackle, he's come charging in shoulder, just straight shoulder, or swinging arm, that's a send-off, no doubt about it. But these other ones, when they're falling and they're nearly touching the ground and they get hit in the head, unless it's a deliberate shoulder to the head, there should just be a penalty and that's it. No need for the sin-binning rubbish. It's just disappointing. The game is in the all-time highs. They don't want to drop this all-time highs right here, right now. But in saying that, publicity is good publicity in the rugby league, and maybe it was a quiet week, and they thought, well, we got to get something to talk about for the week. We got to get something for the league fans to talk about, so that's why we did it before Magic Round. Maybe that's all the ploy of the NRL here, just to make people talk. Who knows? It's the way money matters in this game, and the more things we're talking about rugby league, the more money they make. Yes, now let's get to the big one. What's happening here, folks? What's happening here with the Super League? NRL need to take it over. NRL, take it over and completely revamp it altogether. Boom, abolish everything. We don't have to abolish all the teams, but I'm saying, boom, the concept of whoever the teams are now doesn't have to be that. You can have the stronger teams, keep them, and it's more geographically. Try and make it more of a geographical national comp in the UK and spread it out to Europe and get it up to 20 teams. So how do we do it? So you can start with some of the established clubs that you want to keep. So you got the Warrington, Leeds, St Helens. They're the three key teams, really. Obviously, there's other teams. Honestly, I'll be leaving a team out that everyone's going, what? But I'm just giving you an idea of what they could do here. So you can have those three teams, and you can add the likes of Hull, London, replace Salford with a Manchester team, Bradford and Huddersfield. Have a diverse comp for a start. I mean, you can have other teams. You can have another Hull if you want, but I'm just saying, if you got these 8 for a start, then you look at 2 French teams, so the Catalans, and add a new team there. Sorry, I don't know if I said London. London should be in that 8. Bring back London, bring back Bradford. But they're big established clubs back in the day, and they have a lot of commercial value. You add in Wales, an Ireland, and a Scottish team for a start. Just start with 1, and then you can work from there if you can afford to maybe have another team in Scotland, if you think there's enough players for it. But geographically, you could have 1 in each of those, and it makes it's UK wide. So boom, there you go. That gets you up to 13 teams roughly, and then you could add an Italian team to make it 14 for a start. Lebanon, I don't know if it's just too far away, but I mean there's potential for that. But if you're just staying with just Europe, then you have Italy, and then you can look at expanding and building it up to a 20 team comp. If you can get the likes of Spain involved, Germany, all the top notch soccer areas, and turn them around, then wherever the money is, follow it, get them to 20. And then that's when we get the NRL Europe and NRL Australia. They're playing and they have 20 rounds. And we go back to the old school McIntyre system, in my opinion. That's the way to make this one less round. You just have straight quarterfinals, semi-final, final. Boom. 3 weeks, so it's done. All the games are done in 23 rounds. So that gives us an extra, 7 weeks that we didn't have, basically. And so you can have 1 week of like Indigenous week, so you can have Indigenous men and women playing from New Zealand and Australia. You can have the World Cup Challenge, so the week after, so it all links up all together. And then you have a 6-week international window during the season, and potential to have maybe a 1 week thing at Anzac time or something around there, like we used to, the old Anzac test, or have a 1 or 2 week gap there somewhere where NRL has a break, and you can have a little mini competition for a couple of weeks in the middle of the season. That's what I'll do. I'd keep Origin where it's been the whole time, not split into 3. I think Origin works where it is on a Wednesday night and the players back up. And that's probably where you could have that gap in the season somewhere. Just a little bit of a gap, maybe just before that the State of Origin, so that everyone has a nice break. Then maybe have 2 weeks of footy, and then straight into the NRL, something like that. Whatever they think works, that's potential. And then you have this chance to work around a 6-week competition that you can do every single year, and swapping around, and with the World Cup every 4 years. It just makes sense. And then from there, NRL develop the UK and the US market with Canada. They get a competition going. They have 4 teams in the US, they have a couple in Canada. Work from there, and then you can look at, if you want to add South Africa, Brazil, all these sort of countries they could come into it. Look at the Asia circuit if you want to get Japan, China, India, Sri Lanka involved, and then you become a global thing. And the way I'd see it, they can take over for rugby. Rugby is losing emphasis in the world at the moment. League can take its spot. It's up to them if they want to take the spot or not, but we will see. But anyway, that's the Barry Charles Footy Show for this episode. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll be back with more and more of the greatest topics in rugby league right here for you on the channel.